give me today's day 375 of reading, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Let's get started. We're currently on page 161. And about time too, said Fred. What do you mean? Harry asked, jumping down beside them. Well, we overheard Mum and Dad talking on the extendable years a few weeks back, Fred told Harry, and from what they were saying, Dumbledore was having real trouble finding anyone to do the job this year. Not surprising, is it, when you look at what's happened to the last four, said George. One sacked, one dead, one's memory removed, and one's locked in the trunk for 9 months, said Harry, counting them off on his finger. Yeah, I see what you mean. What's up with you, Ron? Asked Fred. Ron did not answer. Harry looked around. Ron was standing still with his mouth slightly open, gaping at his letter from Hogwarts. What's the matter? Said Fred impatiently, moving around Ron to look over his shoulder at the parchment. Fred's mouth fell open too. Perfect? He asked, staring incredulously at the letter. Perfect? George leapt forward, seized the envelope in Ron's other hand, and turned it upside down. Harry saw something scarlet and gold fall into George's palm. No way, said George in a hushed voice. There's been a mistake, said Fred, snatching the letter out of Ron's grasp and holding it up to the light as though checking for a watermark. No one in their right mind would make Ron a prefect. The twins' heads turned in unison, and both of them stared at Harry. We thought you were a cert, said Fred, in a tone that suggested Harry had tricked them in some way. We thought Dumbledore was bound to pick you, said George indignantly. Winning the Triwizard and everything, said Fred. I suppose all the mad stuff must have counted against him, said George to Fred. Yeah, said Fred slowly. Yeah, you've caused too much trouble, mate. Well, at least one of you's got their priorities right. He strode over to Harry and clapped him on the back while giving Ron a scathing look. Perfect. Icky Ronnie the Perfect. Oh, Mom's going to be revolting, groaned George, thrusting the Perfect badge back at Ron as though it might contaminate him. Ron, who still had not said a word, took the badge, stared at it for a moment, and then held it out to Harry as though asking mutely for confirmation that it was genuine. Harry took it. A large P was superimposed on the Gryffindor lion. He had seen a badge just like this on Percy's chest on his very first day at Hogwarts. The door banged open. Hermione came tearing into the room, her cheeks flushed and her hair flying. There was an envelope in her hand. Did you get? She spotted the badge in Harry's hand and let out a shriek. I knew it, she said excitedly, brandishing her letter. Me too, Harry, me too. No, said Harry quickly, pushing the badge back into Ron's hand. It's Ron, not me. It what? Ron's perfect, not me, Harry said. Ron, said Hermione, her jaw dropping. But are you sure? I mean, she turned red as Ron looked around at her with a defiant expression on his face. It's my name on the letter, he said. Said Hermione, looking thoroughly bewildered. Wow, well done, Ron. That's really unexpected, said George, nodding. No, said Hermione, blushing harder than ever. No, it's not. Ron's done loads of... He's really... The door behind her opened a little wider, and Mrs. Weasley backed into the room carrying a pile of freshly laundered robes. Ginny said the book list had come at last, she said, glancing around at all the envelopes as she made her way over to the bed and started sorting the robes into 2 piles. If you give them to me, I'll take them over to Diagon Alley this afternoon and get your books while you're packing. Ron, I'll have to get you more pajamas. These are at least 6 inches too short. I can't believe how fast they're growing. What color would you like? Get him red and gold to match his badge, said George, smirking. Match his what? Said Mrs. Weasley absently, rolling up a pair of maroon socks and placing them on Ron's pile. His badge, said Fred, with an air of getting the worst over quickly. His lovely, shiny, new Perfect's badge. Fred's words took a moment to penetrate Mrs. Weasley's preoccupation about pajamas. But, Ron, you're not... Ron held up his badge. Mrs. Weasley let out a shriek just like Hermione's. I don't believe it. Oh, Ron, how wonderful. A Perfect. That's everyone in the family. What, Fred and I next door neighbors? Said George indignantly, as his mother pushed him aside and flung her arms around the youngest son. Wait until your father hears, Ron. I'm so proud of you. What wonderful news. You could end up head boy just like Bill and Percy. It's the first step. Oh, what a scene to happen in the middle of all this worry. I'm just so thrilled. Oh, Ronnie. Fred and George were both making loud retching noises behind her back, but Mrs. Weasley did not notice. Arms tied around Ron's neck, she was kissing him all over his face, which had turned a brighter scarlet than his badge. Mom, get a grip, he muttered, trying to push her away. She let go of him and said breathlessly, Well, what will it be? We gave Percy an owl, but you've already got one, of course. What do you mean? Said Ron, looking as though he did not dare believe his ears. You've got to have a reward for this, said Mrs. Weasley fondly. How about a nice new set of dress robes? We've already bought him some, said Fred sourly. Who looked as though he sincerely regretted this generosity. Or a new cauldron. Charlie's old one's rusting through. Or a new rat. You always like scabbers. Mom, said Ron hopefully, can I have a new broom? Mrs. Weasley's face fell slightly. Broomsticks were expensive. Not a really good one, Ron hastened to add. Just a new one for a change. Mrs. Weasley hesitated, then smiled. Of course you can. Well, I'd better get going if I've got a broom to buy too. I'll see you all later, little Ronnie, a prefect. And don't forget to pack your trunks. A prefect. Oh, I'm Olive Diller. She gave Ron yet another kiss on the cheek, sniffed loudly, and bustled from the room. Fred and George exchanged looks. You don't mind if we don't kiss you, do you, Ron? Said Fred in a falsely anxious voice. We could curtsy if you like, said George. Oh, shut up, said Ron, scowling at them. Or what, said Fred, an evil grin spreading across his face. Going to put us in detention? I'd love to see him try, sniggered George. He could if you don't watch out, said Hermione angrily, at which Fred and George burst out laughing and Ron muttered, Drop it, Hermione. We're going to have to watch our step, George, said Fred, pretending to tremble. With these two on our case. Yeah, it looks like our law-breaking days are finally over, said George, shaking his head. And with another loud crack, the twins disapparated. Those two, said Hermione furiously, staring up at the ceiling, through which they could now hear Fred and George roaring with laughter in the room upstairs. Don't pay any attention to them, Ron. They're only jealous. I don't think they are, said Ron doubtfully, also looking up at the ceiling. They've always said only prats become prefects. Still, he added on a happier note, they've never had new brooms. I wish I could go with Mum and choose. She'll never be able to afford a Nimbus, but there's a new clean sweep out. That'd be great. Yeah, I think I'll go and tell her I like the clean sweep, just so she knows. He dashed from the room, leaving Harry and Hermione alone. For some reason, Harry found that he did not want to look at Hermione. He turned to his bed, picked up the pile of clean robes Mrs. Weasley had laid upon it, and crossed the room to his trunk. Harry, said Hermione tentatively. Well done, said Harry, so heartily it did not sound like his voice at all, and still not looking at her. Brilliant, perfect, great. Thanks, said Hermione. Harry, could I borrow Hedwig so I can tell Mom and Dad? They'll be really pleased. I mean, perfect is something they can understand. Yeah, no problem, said Harry, and is still in the horrible hearty voice that did not belong to him. Take her. Thank you, everyone. That's all for today. Bye. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to read page 166. Ooh. Bookmark, close. Peace out.